You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Scott. The GOP is sounding optimistic about Donald Trump's chances in New York. Sherry Einhorn has more from the RNC in Milwaukee.
New York State has long been considered a Democratic stronghold. The last presidential candidate to claim victory there was Ronald Reagan in 1980 and 1984. But state GOP leaders are now saying they're eyeing New York as a competitive hotspot for Donald Trump before the November election.
It's part of his political DNA as a New Yorker, as a Queens boy. He wants to win New York. But on the other hand, if we're winning New York, it's a landslide.
Democrats significantly outnumber Republicans in New York, leading some analysts to question what exactly the GOP plans to accomplish there.
The idea that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance could carry New York is less than slim to none. New York is not in play in a sense of Donald Trump winning the state, but it is very much in play in terms of influencing national politics for at least the next 2 years in terms of the competitive congressional races.
Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin, who's here in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention, told me a Trump victory in New York is dependent on one thing: voters voting on the actual issues, pointing to polls that show less of a margin than in 2020.
Listen, if New York is within 6 points when it used to be 23, think of what that shift means in New Jersey, Virginia, New Hampshire, Minnesota, New Mexico, Colorado, and elsewhere. So the battleground for the presidential race is clearly a map that's expanding. It will always be an uphill battle. But this is not impossible. Yes, it's difficult. It is daunting. But President Trump has been doing campaign events inside of New York. He's been making progress.
Zeldin is expected to address the convention here on Wednesday. He told us his speech will be mainly focused on the importance of foreign policy. Obviously, everyone is also waiting to hear from Donald Trump himself, but that won't happen until Thursday. In Milwaukee, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
In other news, a body was found near the Smith Point Bridge today. Police say it was an apparent drowning. The body of the elderly man was found just before 11 o'clock this morning. It happened on the Fire Island National Seashore area. Nassau County is cracking down on reckless jet skiing.
There is no jumping of wakes behind the boats. You cannot swerve in and out behind the boats, obviously trying to pick up that speed and jump those waves.
Now, police say they've issued about 100 citations in the past 2 weeks. That's almost half the total amount last year. If an operator is not following the rules, the jet ski may be taken away. Home prices on Long Island hit record highs in June. Newsday business reporter Jonathan Lamontia breaks down all of the numbers for us.
In Nassau County, the median home price for all the June sales was $800,000. It hit $800,000 for the first time. That's up from last year, around $717,000. And then in Suffolk County, another record, $670,000 for the median price, and that's up from $585,000.
So will anything change for home buyers in the coming months?
So, it's going to take a little while. So for mortgage rates, to come down is really what's one of the keys for more sellers to put their houses on the market. And, a lot of people are watching what the Federal Reserve does. When the Federal Reserve starts to lower rates, that could, bring down mortgage rates. And as a result, more sellers might put their houses on the market, and that could give buyers a little bit more of a selection and kind of, take a little bit of the heat out of the market.
Now read more about Long Island's housing market on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. There's a new interim president for Stony Brook University. The SUNY board has named Richard McCormick to the role. He was the president of Rutgers University for 10 years. SUNY says a permanent resident president should be in place by the year 2025 through 26 academic year. A Levittown baseball player has been drafted by the Mets. Division High School alum Nick Roselli, there he is, was number 323 overall pick in the MLB draft. The The 21-year-old played for Binghamton and was an All-America East second team selection. Congratulations. New ways to make swimming safe and inclusive for all, and instructors making waves to get black and brown families into the water. Jasmine Anderson has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
On a hot summer day in Hempstead, the shallow end of this backyard pool,
There it goes.
women 50 and up are learning how to swim. At the helm of every lesson, Tanika Sands Hendricks of Uniondale. She's been a certified swim instructor since she was 15. Today, through her company, My Own Lane Aquatics, she's restoring confidence in every stroke, diving into the basics of swimming.
Swimming is for everybody, right? So we want it to be equitable and everybody to have equitable access to the water.
For some of her clients, getting in the water can be emotional.
She was drawn to the water. The pool was just open, and she just slipped out within no time.
Jacqueline Lindsay reflects on the loss of her niece, Chloe. She drowned in a backyard pool 12 years ago.
Her mom did everything in her powers to revive her, did CPR. By the time she made it to the hospital, it was too late.
Lindsay found the courage to take swim lessons, along with Tanika's mother, Wanda.
I had a bad experience when I was younger, and a guy ran up behind me and pushed me into 12 feet, and I went straight to the bottom. So I kind of had a fear, and I just don't like it.
The CDC reports 45% of all adults have taken swimming lessons in the U.S. The numbers are much lower for the Black and Hispanic population. Major barriers include lack of access and costs.
I think more people that look like me need to be in the pool.
Access to pools is a major problem in our community. There are people who can't even afford a bathing suit.
The former instructor explains how you can keep your family safe this summer. Never swim alone. Take swim lessons. Make sure you check the instructor's certification. If your loved one is struggling in the pool, don't jump in the water if you don't know how to swim.
Sand says regardless of your skill level, the most important thing you should do is pay attention to the water, not only for yourself, but for others.
During our shoot, there were 2 saves. In one case, a child was quickly pulled out of the water by Tanika. Jasmine Anderson, Newsday TV.
Thank you, Jasmine. Read more about pool safety on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now, new summer adventures await your kids this summer, and Elisa DiStefano takes us out to Westbury in a story you'll see only in Newsday.
You should really go here because it's really, really fun.
There's a brand new place to play. Empire Adventure Park just opened at Samania in Westbury.
There's so much to do here. Where to go first?
There are 17 attractions in the 35,000 square foot facility, including tons of trampolines.
How high can you jump?
This high.
That's really high. I can't go that high.
This is Valo Jumps. It is a augmented reality game where you see yourself in the game. We have a huge focus on technology matching to active entertainment. So when you see our games with augmented reality where you see your image and you are jumping and participating, you're not just sitting static playing a video game.
Bounce, swing, slide, and climb. There's also laser tag set in New York City, obstacle courses, an adventure maze, and activities for every age, from toddler to teen. They even have games that give grown-ups a thrill, including Long Island's first and only Hyper Deck.
With the floor moving, heat coming from the ceiling, and wind blasting you from every direction. Woo! You really feel like you're flying. This is crazy. Woo! So what happens in here?
This is Valo Arena. This is my favorite game of everything in the entire park. Six people going at one time. It is augmented reality where you see yourself in the game.
There are different games and levels to choose from.
You have to get on the surface.
The floor is
you are always actively moving and entertained with technology at the same time.
Elisa DiStefano, Newsday TV.
And you can find more things to do on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now let's take a look at your Long Island weather. Partly cloudy tonight. The temperature is getting down, yes, down to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, some sun, but a chance of a thunder shower. Highs again up in the 80s. Keep your umbrella nearby. Now a look at your 7-day forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Drew Scott. Thanks for joining us.